Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Trekyards yet again. He is Commander Cockings.
And he is General Foley.
Oh, you went there, did you?
Went where?
Yeah.
You're always, what do you mean? You're always General.
It's true. Picard Season 2, Episode 2, Penance.
And let's be honest, the big question here with the audience is, can this episode be as good as episode 1? That's what everyone's thinking. What do you think?
I really enjoyed it. I do enjoy the different take on things, time travel and or alternate universes. They would say that's not what this is, but it is a time travel issue, which I love. I know a lot of people are going to complain about that, like it's been done too much in Star Trek or whatever, but I thought it was good. It was a little bit of a disappointment at the end, though, honestly, because I kind of wanted them to escape on the La Serena and actually do the time travel thing. Instead, we know that happens already, so that'll be the next episode. But I was hoping for that by the end of this episode, so the ending was kind of like, a little unsatisfactory. That being said, I still really enjoyed it, and it was great seeing all the references and callbacks to other characters. We even got mention of a General Sisko, so there's a lot here to unpack and a lot of cool stuff to like look at and see, and I was really quite pleased with it. I had a different vibe from episode 1, obviously, but it still felt very much Star Trek. Was it as good as the first one? Yes, but in different ways, I think. So, yeah, that's where we stand. How about you?
Yeah, it's an incomparable two-parter.
Yeah.
But both are very good in their own ways. I think you'd be hard-pressed to dislike this episode. One of my big takeaways is the obvious logic of it. As in, all of the internal stuff with the alternate universe in the chateau, it all makes sense, all the references, so there's no, why is this there, why is that there, that works. All the characters have a lot more grounded approach to what they're doing. I found all of their coming to terms that efficient, yet interesting, yet different, and especially, I was reminded of Season 1 of Picard, you have Seven and Picard facing the Borg Queen, who is the epitome of the Borg. We had the Borg Cube last year, and they both had reactions, and often you know Picard had really PTSD vibes, and this time they both sort of just said it in a couple of facial expressions. I found it far more satisfying. This I thought they handled so much better because that's yes, the Borg Cube is dramatic, but the Queen is the epitome of everything. There's a level beyond, and so the fact that Picard's just like. In the soul, like that's better to me than anything he did in Season 1, and worked better. And same with 7. Like all those moments were the appropriate level of character versus the situation. Where in Season 1 we had a lot of the character wouldn't do that, etc., etc. Even Raffi's JL1 reference felt more apt because of the situation. So it was a far more organic piece. I felt like I genuinely was watching an episode of Star Trek, whereas Picard Season 1 it was a case of what's going to happen this week. So I thought that was really nice, and I did also see the pandemic vibe a lot in this with the limited crew cast except the one big scene. But I thought that actually worked super well because it was a very sleek alternate future. It wasn't overcluttered. It wasn't like brutality of we've got 45 guards, they've all got big blades. Like it wasn't gluttonous. It was simple. It was a functional totalitarian regime of just this is just their lives. So I liked the minimal use, and I'll just have a lot of focus on our characters, which was so super needed. So I thought that was a really good balance. And actually, Pandemic kind of worked well in this case of not having to. They couldn't do too much, and so they kept it simple, and that worked really well here.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right about all of that, especially the JL reference. Like, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit, but under the circumstances, it was a perfect use of it. So I really didn't have much of a problem with it. I know other people probably will, but hey.
Context is king, Stuart.
Yes, this is true. And we found out it's not the warship Enterprise, it's the CSS World Raiser. So, slicing those worlds up really fine and thin. I thought that was kind of cool. I wanted a flashback of some sort, which I don't think we're going to get now. I think we're past that point, unfortunately. Unless the Borg Queen has some kind of reminiscence about it, where she talks about it to them. Because they're going to ask what happened, maybe, how she got captured. Then we might get that, but unfortunately I don't think we're going to actually see the ship in action.
Which it kept you in the moment very well, and it was a very present episode. It was every scene was well paced, was well, like it was a real good ride. But I think that would have been good. At the very least, though, evil Picard's message should have been de-aged to a younger Picard. I think that would have been the one, because he would have been on green screen, very controllable. He's front to camera. That should have been a season 4 Picard in the uniform he had in the. That I think would have been the one thing. If you're gonna do one, like, show evil him, missed opportunity. But I'm not gonna look what we got instead. We got all the skulls and all the guns and such. So I'm not gonna. These are wouldn't it be greats? But we still got enough to be fine. And it was very super focused on these people are out of fish out of water. We're not even going to go into this history very much. It was very, we're thrown in this deep end and we're just going to try and get out. There wasn't much of a let's explore, but because of where Picard lives, you got that feel straight away and you kind of got to skip straight past it, which I was actually fine with.
Yeah, the armory in his office, the trophies were amazing. I do believe I saw a torchbearer, the Klingon torchbearer from Discovery.
And Discovery Klingon pistol as well, and a Klingon knife, Martok's knife.
But no, hearing the stories about Martok and Gul Dukat, and also Sarek, brutal, man, brutal. It feels very Mirror Universe, just because it's anti-alien, it's pro-human, just like the Terran Empire. But it's not. It's different enough for sure. So,
yeah. It's super retreading ground. The difference was, from what we saw, the Mirror Universe. We've even had that in Discovery. Unfortunately, they're genetically disposed to be more evil, and everyone's vicious. Everyone is aggressive. They are not that in this universe. This is something. Cause it's everyone was born like we were. Because that's the very clear distinction. This is our reality that was changed. So we are all the same people, but circumstances which are unknown pushed our society into a different place. This is the Martok we knew, born in the same way. Or at least his mum and dad had been born in the same way, and his world would be different. But it's still us. So everyone felt close enough. It's
nature versus nurture.
Yes,
it's not their nature. It's definitely the nurture. So yeah.
Yeah. So I liked that. It was. That's why I think the art design was super, super clever. A lot of clean whites, a lot of refined steel, a lot of simple stuff. The only thing was the banner, which obviously in Starfleet normal is bright blue and white. This is black and red, classic evil colors. But that's, there are certain countries in the world that have flags of those colors. I'm not going to call them evil flags. So that's an easy. You're not going to think evil from that per se, in the abstract. But I thought the art design was, we're not going to delve into that. Whereas Mirror Universe, it all goes a bit deliberately. Everyone's wearing knives, everything's evil. They stayed away from that. I thought that was a really good decision. It was road not taken, not oh no, monsters. So good for them. That was an easy thing.
Q felt a little off to me. Even Picard has a mention of that he seemed a little unstable. So I think something might have happened that Q can't even fix or rectify, and I think he's getting Jean-Luc's help without even asking him necessarily. We do find out it's in 2024 that the thing changes, and it's in Los Angeles. Next episode's going to be at least the first 5 or 10 minutes, probably them escaping and then getting back to the past. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about Q in this one. He just... I don't know. Did you get any weird vibes off of Q at all, or?
Well, it's presenting us a very specific version of him. He did what it's meant to do. I thought his voice sounded fantastic. He sounded the part. He felt the part, which was, in terms of the pure Q-ness, is just there's obviously something on his mind, and because of how quick we're burning through this stuff, in theory, we're not even going to be in the past for that many episodes. I guarantee. This is chapter 1 of part 1 of season 2. This is the season 2 and 3 we know that Q's in both seasons. This is penance, a test for Picard, but it isn't this one thing. This is a one thing to show him, so that he's hinting at stuff for end of season 2 and into season 3. So we don't know. There's more going on here than meets the eye, and the fact that he's happy to, or at least they say he changed the timeline. I'm not sure if I quite believe that. I think that's not, Q's always a who knows sort of fellow. Although, I dispute slightly his, it's not an alternate reality, it's our reality but changed. That means you're in an alternate reality. That means you're in a divergent point. It's like, yes, as Enterprise is an alternate reality, they find them, like, it's a split. But then you can go back and undo the split. So if it is an alternate reality, it's not our reality but different. It is, by definition, now an alternate reality. Our reality still, obviously you couldn't reset it. Just saying.
Speaking of, they did mention this isn't yesterday's Enterprise, he says, which was a nice little...
And into the mirror.
Yeah. Well, Into the Mirror Darkly is just a classic quote from...
I know.
Something.
I'm saying they used both. Yeah, credit to them. I thought Q was good, and it was the right amount of pace. I obviously do miss the Flash, because they made a conscious choice not to do the Flash. I like the snap clap, clap, big, broad sound effect. And I get, because you're seeing from their perspective, you don't necessarily need it, but that's their choice, because I guess they think it's too comical now to have a big flashing light, but they need to have a big flashing light. They had it once to show you they can. Should have kept the flashing light. That's kind of the entire thing of Q, because he's a god being. But
yeah, it's pretty important.
But maybe it's a symbol of how he's not who he used to be, and that'll be in later.
Did you see the Adam Soong statue or hologram?
Heard his voice as well.
Yeah.
So Brent's first appearance, Adam. So I guess Noonien had a son called Adam, or Adam and Eve. Maybe he's the first humanoid robot that he made. Could be a symbology. I was kind of expecting to see a Soong. I thought that would be very logical. I thought that was going to be a part of the implied thing that we're going to see a Soong in this version. But
ironically, I showed you this like a few days ago, but I bought this, the Mirror Universe collection book, which is kind of similar vibes to what we got going on here, and it's sitting beside me, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta read that. No, I think all the characters worked, all the situations, nothing seemed off. Girardi, I wondered how she got in that position, because I wonder how her alternate version is, probably a little bit more evil, I guess, but yeah, I mean, I think everything worked well. It's kind of lucky that Seven or Annika happens to be the president, and that Picard happens to be the general, the big guy.
I mean, Annika, bit of a stretch. I was taken aback. We assumed like some high-ranking politician. We called that not the highest-ranking politician. I don't see a correlation between that, but since she was assimilated at 6 or something, there's nothing to go on in terms of who she was beforehand. So, okay. I mean, it certainly made story cheats, like you said. It made it easy for them to get through things. Just a bit random. Although I also was left thinking, presidents tend to have entourages. She had a husband and like a guard once. Pandemic, I get it. So there's a slight disconnect of, but then again, it's not necessarily the evil universe, and everyone clearly supports Earth. So there isn't, as in apart from those aliens that are trying to revenge on their own planets. Like Earth is just, well, yeah, we support Earth. Good job, guys.
I did have one issue when Rios tried to beam them aboard and the security alert went off. It's like you think they would have realized and traced that there was an attempted transporter out of there. I thought that was going to be an issue. Wasn't. So that kind of bugged me a little bit. And the fact that they had to wait so long to actually get out, where Picard actually had to shoot somebody. Because if it got to the point where he was pointing at the board queen and they got all beamed out, it wouldn't necessarily be them being traitors. It could have been somebody who was scooping them. So,
yep.
Yeah,
he red pulsed 2 people. Which implies he shot them and killed them.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So that's a little bit of a shame. I was hoping they were going to get out of there with him having to do that. But, and talk about stage fright, man. Usually I get stage fright in the best of times. Can you imagine walking into that situation and not necessarily knowing what to say or how to act to carry it? I think Seven had a speech in front of her.
Yeah, she was reading.
Yeah. But as for Picard, I mean, damn.
Well, I did like his evil faces. He did rise to the occasion a few times, which is good.
Sure, like pumping up the crowd.
I did hope he was going to start speaking though, like an impromptu. Oh, I must say first though, I would have been nice to have another like an evil Picard speech, but no, that was fine. I want to go back to something you said a second ago. We zoomed through a couple of things there. Thank you, Josh. Yeah. Now back to transporters though for a second. Yeah, that is really a flawed thing in a sense because, of course, there's going to be transporter inhibitors anyway, active all the time for presence in the location. If she's a transportable at any time, that's certainly a security flaw, and you would think she'd have like a personal transport inhibitor on her at all times. Like this is just I know it's a military Starfleet craft, well not Starfleet, but the other version in orbit, but like that should be standard. So no, you can't beam them out straight away. Maybe everyone just trusts everyone, but if the Romulan terrorists can blow up buildings, they can have a ship in orbit and beam her up. So that was already a flaw. It would have been nice if they'd had one line, because they've been good at this, to have Rio say, I've tapped into the Starfleet channels, I've gained access, now I can beam you. Like, that would have been all you needed, because I can, okay, yeah, how else do you beam around innate security if you're an approved Starfleet personnel? That might be implied, but that would have been nice for sure. What do you think of the Borg Queen, though?
Well, it's got a look, she's got a different look than we've seen before, but she is disconnected. Like the hive's gone. Apparently, she's like the last one, which I kind of like the way that's played, and the fact that she realizes that time's changed also as a result. She calls out Seven and in front of her husband, which I loved, and even Girardi's little seven shot was nice, but. Yeah, I mean, the Borg Queen's going to be interesting. I love the fact that she agreed to help them, and then it seems like she betrays them at the end there, but I'm not sure how that plays out because we know that they actually do the slingshot thing. So I think something else happened that we just haven't learned yet.
I mean, the Borg Queen has nothing to lose and everything to regain, especially given time travel. She can just go back and assimilate Earth by herself. She has nanoprobes in her hands. I mean, there's, of course she'd say anything. I thought she'd rather good. I heard many twinges of Alice Krieg's delivery in the performance. I thought she was actively trying to mimic to some extent, and I appreciated that because the Borg Queen is meant to be a unifying entity, even despite dying several times and coming back. Even showing Endgame and coming back, I guess, well, it's alternate universe one, I suppose, but we know in other Picard. So I appreciate it wasn't just a radically different performance. I thought that was nice. And they do obviously make mention, this isn't like the new maybe Queen we see, this is a more classic, but they don't say exactly like the one we know, because obviously it's different. But obviously the excuse, alternate universe, who's to say what form the Borg Queen takes in this universe, so that all those things kind of, you can tick off, well, it doesn't have to look like the real one, X, Y, and Z, but obviously super close. Well, I did notice that the costume she was wearing, the black element was... There's a space between the chest and the dress, so when she was breathing, there was a split. Whereas in the original version, it's like you attach it to the skin. It's not a dress; it's just her physical body. So I thought that a bit like, well, it's not a dress, guys. It's just her physical body. There's no differentiation. It's not small thing. I just thought it was a bit of an odd choice. And obviously, spoilers at the end. Eleanor murdered. That's bold.
I don't think he's not dead yet.
Not dead yet, but death wound with a gun set to kill on a part that's chest with burning flesh. I mean, I assume he's gonna get killed, and because if they're gonna jump back into the present relatively quickly, then they can kill him and he'll be fine. Like as just a power move because we don't need him in this past. Because I don't remember seeing him in the past stuff, especially as we know that. Actually, yeah, we do know. When's because we've seen both Laris in the past, which doesn't make sense because she's dead in this timeline, and we saw Soji in the past, so probably they're gonna have to go forward and back a couple of times, because they're not alive here. Soji's certainly not around.
Good points.
Or maybe they'll Back to the Future to it. They'll fix one thing, go back, it's not fixed, but it's close enough. They pick up their.
I don't think Eleanor's dead. I think he's going to be wounded. He's going to be on the ship while they're doing a lot of their stuff. I don't think he's going to die.
No, I think he is going to die because I already do. But I think there was that shot in the trailer where Jurati is crying over his body.
Oh, that's true.
I think that you need that because it helps just to settle the. He's already served his purpose, ironically, to be like a son to Raffi, which works. My God, so much better that works in JL than being the son to Picard. That doesn't work, especially if we've now retconned that his family can't connect, and then he's saying he looked after Eleanor. Now it doesn't work as a concept, but he actually has a legitimate little bond with Raffi. I thought it was actually well done. For as little screen time as he got, he was better, I thought. And even Jurati, I thought, did a good job this week.
Yeah, they all did. They all did. Sure.
And the husband was appropriate. I thought he did a good job. Given a lot of screen time considering, but I thought he did a good job considering. I mean, there's obviously more to talk about, Stuart, but we're not going to do it all today, because that is what the full breakdown is for, the scene by scene. Super important, lots to talk about, of course. Do jump in, join us, hear all that cool stuff, because there's lots of stuff. Scene by scene, it's going to be, you know us, guys, you know us. So come and join that at 9pm GMT, or 4pm Eastern Standard Time.
Yes, please join us for that. Hit that like button, comment down below what you thought of the episode if you can't make it to the live. If you can make it to the live, comment to us in real time and hang out with us. And by all means, subscribe to the channel, notify, all that stuff. You know how to work it. It's YouTube. Do it.
And if you want to support us directly, you know how much we do for this channel and for you guys, then Patreon, PayPal, which is trekyards@hotmail.com. Joining the channel on YouTube or super chatting in those lives. Mega important, mega helpful. Thank you so much in advance.
So until next time, guys, he's Commander Cockings.
He's got a Foley.
I thought it was General.
we're back home now.
Now you're in trouble.
Oh, no, it's fine. Everything's fine, Stu. Everything's fine. Or is it?
Okay.
Bye, guys.